Hello, everyone, and happy Halloween. Welcome to this Real Watcher stream for October 31st, 2023. My name is Garrett.
And I'm Adrian.
And we are here today to go ahead and go over some movie news, some reviews, and lots more fun stuff. But before we jump into anything today, Adrian, as I should say, apologies, Captain Olimar, how have you been over the last week?
Good, been traveling from planet to planet, saving the world and all that, saving my company, first and foremost. But no, things have been good. Went to Halloween parties over the weekend, which was super fun. Got to hang out with some friends and meet some new friends, which was really, really cool. And yeah, just kind of lived life a little bit. How about yourself?
Awesome stuff. It's been not too busy over here. I mean, I guess it has been. I'm just preparing to move, so this is the last week in this background. You'll see a different background starting next Tuesday. I know, big news, shocker.
Let's get tears in the chat.
Exactly. Let's get some Fs. Pay F to pay respects. What was that Call of Duty meme? But yeah, besides moving stuff, that's pretty much about it. So it's just been a lot of packing. You can see it's very empty around me right now. So apologies for not a very exciting background, but that's been about it. And watched a lot of movies this week, which we'll talk about in two segments from now. So, but before we jump into anything today, we need to give a huge thank you because we just hit 100 subscribers.
We did it.
Which is awesome. We finally hit the mark. Hey, we did it. This is your channel too.
Oh, I was talking to the chat. You did it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, chat. It's all you. All of our subscribers, thank you so much for joining us. We absolutely love it. Matt, hey, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful Halloween evening today. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, we hit 100 subscribers, which means that next week we'll be doing our hot dog eating competition. So as we kind of go on with the stream, kind of towards the end, when more people join in, we'll try and get some baseline foundational rules. Exactly, we hit a hundo. Cannot believe it.
Even though we're going to be talking about the rules of the contest later, there are currently 8 hot dogs inside me right now.
Wow, he's been practicing, ladies and gentlemen, and I have not. But absolutely, it's a really cool milestone to hit for a smaller YouTube channel like this. So 100 subscribers is huge.
I didn't even think. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it took a while, but hey, we're finally here, and it's all downhill from here, apparently. So we'll keep going. But that's going to be it for kind of any kind of announcements. Again, we'll go over rules for the hot dog eating challenge or contest. I don't know what we're going to call it. We'll go over that towards the end of the show when more people have joined us. But let's go ahead and jump into the news for today. We actually have a pretty banging piece of news to start, and that is that the Five Nights at Freddy's film has a huge opening. It is the third biggest film opening for Universal this year, actually beating Fast X in the United States. I don't know if I could have told myself a year ago that Five Nights at Freddy's would have beat Fast and Furious, but that's the reality we live in now. And I just want to go ahead and gloat because I said this would happen and Adrian said it wouldn't. So,
yeah, I mean, a bit of a spoiler. I think this is the same thing that happened with Mario. Like, I think it has a huge fan base. I'm glad to see it do well. I don't think it has any sort of staying power.
No, it'll probably get some sequels though. So, which, I mean, hey, the movie broke even on profit before it even came out. So anything that it makes is just going to be dollar signs. It's also Blumhouse's biggest opening ever, which good for them.
I was so shocked to see that it was Principal Blumhouse and not Tilt that produced this when that was announced. I just think that was crazy. There must have been so much money behind it.
Or not, because it made its money back really quickly. So
yeah, but I know a lot of the effects were practical, so I know that they did put time and money, but they did save on CGI. So
true, and Jim Henson's the company that did it, the same company that does the Muppets. So it's like you're going to get the best you can. So, but we'll talk a little bit about what we think of the film a little later.
Yeah, but moving right along, but sticking with it, doesn't seem like there is any chance of an R-rated cut of Five Nights at Freddy's. I think what they.
Oh, your mic's a little quiet there, Adrian. Can barely hear you.
Hello.
There you go.
Doesn't seem like there'll be a chance for an R-rated cut of Five Nights at Freddy's. I think the film that they did come out with is the best that they could possibly make with the property and doing what they did. So I don't see there being like a more violent version of it or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, the director has said that they made the film that they wanted to make, and there's nearly no, R-rated cut of it. As much as people have been wanting an R-rated cut, it just depends. It's kind of like the same thing as Megan, where a lot of people were asking for an R-rated cut, and they actually did do an R-rated cut for that one. I don't think we'll get it with this one. But
Yeah.
Sticking on the topic of horror, actually, one of my favorite horror movies of all time was just announced today that it is getting a sequel. The movie They Follow, which will be the sequel to It Follows, has been greenlit. Same director and same main star, which is really nice. They're keeping some continuity from there. This is awesome news. I love It Follows. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And I'm so excited that it's getting a sequel. I just don't know what it's going to be about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited when I saw this poster, or I think it was the poster they released, or a still image. I got super excited because It Follows is also one of my favorite horror movies. So nothing but excitement on my end.
Absolutely.
But sliding right through, the newest Hunger Games movie received SAG-AFTRA interim agreement to promote it. This is really interesting. This is like an exception to basically the strike that they're allowing. Which makes me think that there is a lot going on with this movie that they are banking on it doing well. And I would anticipate that that's the entire remaining franchise, that this movie needs to do well so that they can continue to go. So they're allowing it, which is really interesting.
Well, the other big piece is that it is made by Lionsgate, who is not a studio as part of the AMPTP. So they are technically still allowed to film and promote, just with agreements. Same as A24.
Yeah.
So that would be why it's going to be able to promote it, which is good for the stars because it gives them some work to do.
But I think there was a lot of pressure with how much is riding on this first of who knows how many of this next trilogy or more needs to do well. So those can be made.
I mean, from a purely design standpoint, I think the movie looks great. I think the look and feel of it is really cool. We'll see if it's actually a good movie. So speaking on the topic of Lionsgate, they are moving forward with Now You See Me 3, the kind of magic heist films. Adrian's shaking his head.
I'm just still waiting for them to call it Now You Don't.
Or Now You See 3.
No, I don't like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried. But this is moving forward, apparently, which, again, since it's Lionsgate, if they have a script, they can start filming it. So, I mean, hey. These are actually two movies that I have not seen. Yeah, I know. Bulge your eyes out. I haven't seen them yet.
They're literally called Now You See Me, and you haven't seen them?
Yeah, I know. They're invisible to me.
Wow.
Now I haven't. So that should be the third one. It's Now You Don't is the second, and Now I Haven't is the third. But it's cool that they're moving forward with it. It looks like they seem like they want to have a franchise on their hands. So
yeah, I mean, the Now You See Me first one was interesting enough. Second one was a bit cheesy, but they're still fun. I feel like they're still just a good time at the theater. They're kind of like an action, but honestly, the only magician movies we're getting nowadays. Mm-hmm. As much as I can hope for a Prestige to come out again, I don't think we'll get any of those with these movies coming
Prestige
around.
Is a pretty deep movie too. I think these are kind of a good mediator for sure.
But jumping to some kind of rumors that were swirling a while ago, Tom Cruise never played Iron Man because of how much he asked for. Didn't want to spend that much to an untested hero. Obviously, we've had a lot of cameos in Marvel and MCU in general, but I guess there was a lot of hesitation in putting that much towards something that they didn't know if it would deliver.
Well, yeah, this was regarding the original Iron Man film because Tom Cruise was slated to play the hero at one point, or rumored to. And Kevin Feige has revealed that it was because he asked for too much money. Paramount didn't want to pay that much money.
Which is so interesting because with Tom Cruise, they're claiming untested hero. Robert Downey Jr. was nothing but mostly like a problem child in Hollywood at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they definitely went with a
bold choice.
Riskier choice, yeah.
Yeah, but I think he was asking for less money, and so if the film was a flop, they weren't going to lose as much. So there's definitely more that plays into it than just picking a bankable star. And even then, Tom Cruise, I wouldn't say wasn't extremely bankable in 2005. Or 2008,
that was maybe
excuse
his
me.
Peak of crazy.
That was towards the start. That was before the Mission Impossible movies got really good, and so I mean, he's still popular, but I wouldn't say he's not as popular as he was today.
Yeah, and I mean, Robert Downey Jr. did turn around in Iron Man 2 and get his co-star let go because he asked for so much money in the second one. So.
And then they
Fun
started
fact
paying
on
him
that
an
one.
ungodly amount of money. So,
Yeah.
moving right along, staying on the superhero topic, a live-action Invincible movie is still in very early phases. This is part of Amazon's attempt to kind of build out the Invincible universe into more than just the show, which, if you haven't seen the show's very good. I would highly recommend it. It's kind of a nice alternative that's an adult superhero show to The Boys, because I feel like The Boys gets really graphic in more ways than just violence, and Invincible tells a really good story as well. So,
Yeah.
kind of worried to see what a live action movie would be, if it's going to be the same actors from the animated show or if it's going to be way different. So that's the only thing I'm worried about.
As long as it's not anything similar to, I think it was like, what was it, Jupiter Ascending, that TV show that was kind of like Invincible, but
You're
Netflix.
it's not Jupiter Ascending. You're
I
thinking
know,
of
that's the Channing Tatum movie.
Saturn something.
No, it's definitely Jupiter.
Let me see here.
But anyway, I just hope it's not like that. They really tried to capitalize on that and make
Jupiter's
it another
Legacy.
topic, but
Jupiter's Legacy.
Jupiter's Legacy.
Yeah.
So I just think they need to do better. I think they need to, hopefully with established characters, they have a little bit more of a pull when they start doing it, but it's got to be good. I mean, you can't skimp around on things that are beloved.
100%.
But sliding through, Magazine Dreams, starring Jonathan Majors, has been delayed indefinitely due to the SAG strike and Majors' trial. Pretty much to be expected with everything going on and things trending towards the not so good look for him, as much as he's claiming otherwise. We're probably going to see this happen to anything that he was tied to in the near future. And Marvel yet to officially denounce anything, but I'd imagine we start to see some slippage and things like that too.
Yeah, I definitely think they were waiting until after Loki season 2 started and was out before doing anything, because it was already filmed. Like the especially with Loki season 2, they said that there were no reshoots at all, which is a Marvel first. So, hey. But moving right along, the first photo from the Snow White live-action film from Disney has released, showing that the leaked images were fake. In fact, they will be having regular dwarves and not the fake image that was shown off in all sorts of wonderful glory. But also the film has been delayed to 2025 due to strikes and other reasons.
Yeah, this headline coming from the PR team that had to scramble to recast the entire film after those leaked photos came out.
Which is funny, because I don't know if the new one looks any better, because I don't know if you saw that photo. The dwarves look really weird.
I don't know. I think that these photos were to to feel out the market for how that reaction would play. And it went so poorly that, one, I do think the delays were caused by the strikes and stuff like that, but I'd imagine that they went back to the writing table as well.
Who knows?
Well, that's what I think. Moving right along, Pixar's Elio has been delayed to 2025 amid not casting dwarves, apparently. No, I'm just kidding. But also delayed to 2025 due to the plethora of reasons we list for every other delay.
Yeah, just everything's being delayed so much now that it's just kind of hard to keep up. So, but let's go ahead and take a break, because we had a lot of stories this week, so we're going to take a little halfway through break here to go through some of these comments. Matt Walls, FNAF made nothing but profit, 100%.
And me sick.
Wow, there you go. Danelle, love the costume feature, AQ.
Thanks.
Danelle says, couldn't imagine Tom Cruise as Iron Man. Yep. As a cameo, like a variant, maybe, but not mainline Iron Man.
I think it would have been interesting to have it had happened, and if we would be saying the same thing about Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
If that had just been his character. But I'm glad, because I do enjoy the Mission Impossible movies, and I feel like we would have lost out on kind of all of that had he become wrapped up in the MCU.
Yeah. Cassidy, do you think he would have done his own stunts as Iron Man? I think he would have done his own VFX.
Lord willing, I hope. We may have gotten a much more practical movie. It may have been a completely different film with him at the helm.
It's true. Our good friend Jose, there's not enough makeup or movie magic in the world to pass J.K. Simmons as a real-life Omni-Man. Yep. But that voice is all you need. Can't wait to see him in Mortal Kombat next month. Jose, again, fake, sure. More like they scrambled to save that ship. You know what I honestly thought
That's
it was?
what I'm saying, Jose.
You know, I'm gonna call a false flag operation here, because they announced that whatever is that far right thing, Daily Wire, with Shapiro. His like movie company is making a live action Snow White as well, and I think that they put out that image to try and sabotage the Disney one.
You've out conspiracied the conspiracy theorists.
I've out conspiracied the far right, and that's hard to do. Cassidy, when was the last more than one word Pixar movie? Turning Red.
Incredibles 2.
Turning Red was last year.
Turning Red was that? Wow. Oh, Raya and the Last Dragon. Oh, was that Disney?
That was Disney.
That was Disney.
Lightyear was one word. Elio was one word. Elemental's one word. Yeah, that's odd.
Luca's one word. Yeah.
Luca was one word. Soul was one word.
Wish is one word.
Wish is Disney, but good point.
Well, I feel like they're becoming a bit synonymous now. I feel like they both release.
Yeah, their quality levels are pretty much the same at this point.
Yeah.
Alrighty, moving on with the stories. Continuing on, David Fincher and Aaron Sorkin have discussed a sequel to The Social Network. Obviously, David Fincher being the director of Social Network and Aaron Sorkin being the writer of the film. We both loved this movie. I know we've talked about it on the podcast several times back when we did the podcast. I think if they do a sequel to The Social Network, it'd be really cool to have it focus on a different social network. Maybe like, something about Musk taking over Twitter, or like any kind of like antitrust thing with any other thing. Like you could make it a series going over different networks and not just Facebook. But they might do Facebook, because Facebook's had its fair share of things that have come up.
Yeah, so I totally see both sides, and I see the value of taking the franchise route, or I see the value in continuing every 5, 7, 10 years the story of Zuckerberg and having that tone continue throughout, and kind of providing some insight. I see the value in both sides. That's really exciting, though. I'm really, really stoked for that.
Yeah.
And The Black Phone 2 has been announced by Blumhouse, coming June 27th, 2025. Already nailed down the date. Black Phone, the first one was a very good horror movie that came out. I think it kind of went under the radar for a lot of people, but I really, really enjoyed it. If you get a chance to check it out, it's probably streaming now, but really, really interesting story to it.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. I love that movie. And actually, there was at Halloween Horror Nights this year, speaking of Black Phone, there was a Blumhouse event where they had like you saw a couple like seconds of footage for different things. They had the animatronics on display for Five Nights at Freddy's, but outside there was a guy dressed up as the killer from Black Phone with these black balloons and would walk around and kind of like take pictures.
I know they had the Black Phone maze last year. Yeah, which was it was fun. Actually it and Freaky. It was combined, if I remember.
Fun maze, not the best one, but it was fun. Speaking of things that are not fun, Fantastic Beasts franchise is on pause for the foreseeable future, which the directors on record stating they were proud of this movie when they put it out, and shouldn't have been, because that movie was not good at all.
Yeah, do I look surprised?
Yeah. I mean, hey, J.K. Rowling said there were supposed to be 5 of these, so I highly doubt that being the case anymore. But,
Which is unfortunate, because when people do like that ambitiousness right out of the gate, you specifically write your movies counting on having more later, so your story isn't cohesive and the movies don't stand alone necessarily. And if they just end this or pause it indefinitely, I mean, people just may never get that story finished, which for the people that do like it is a bummer. And I don't think movies should be planned out that far in advance.
Yeah, it hurts your story, right? Because like you're not focusing on telling one cohesive good story. You're telling one spread out over 5 movies, and that it dilutes it so much that like we don't get to see the full story now.
Yeah, and I also feel like when you're coming to something in the writer's room and they go, well, we haven't addressed this, you go, well, we have 2 more movies. Like, let's figure that out for the next one.
Yeah.
And then you just never resolve it. But in a surprising turn, first fully animated theatrical Looney Tunes movie is coming, starring Porky Pig and Daffy Duck, which is exciting just to see animation, obviously, in the conversation. We've had a lot of success in animation for quite a while now. So really, really excited to see it coming to theaters.
Yeah, I have no idea what this would be. If it's going to use the newer style from some of the shows that are on Max, or if it's going to go for the classic style, who knows? All we just know that it's been announced. There's no kind of details on it yet. So I'm sure Jose is very excited about this in some way. Next up, Chucky creator Don Mancini has teased a potential crossover with Megan. which is very surprising, or not surprising, because the two are very similar. But apparently, Chucky and Megan have been having a social media spat over the last couple of days.
That's fun.
Which is kind of fun. But this is kind of leading up to a potential crossover, which, hey, I think it would be a lot of fun to watch that movie.
That does sound fun. And sliding through, Naked Brothers Band member Alex Wolff, star of Hereditary, to direct and star in first feature called If She Burns. Really excited. I think he's a great actor. I think he's done really well for himself. And Hereditary, obviously, incredible. And I believe he was in another film that I can't remember the name of right now that I really enjoyed as well.
I think he was in Oppenheimer as well in a
Yes.
brief little bit. Yeah, he's been in several movies lately. Very, like a surprisingly good actor. He was also in the Jumanji movies too. So,
I'll have to rewatch the new ones.
the newer ones, yeah, he
I'll have
played
to check
the
it out.
wimpy kid, the main wimpy kid that he becomes the Rock.
Oh, you're totally right. Yeah.
So excited to see what he's able to do as a director. I mean, he's worked with some very good directors, so hopefully they've given him some kind of good tidbits and good things to learn. Next up, Fall 2 and 3 have been ordered as the studio is envisioning a franchise. The film about the two adventure people that are stuck up on top of a tower and all sorts of bad things happen to them. They're envisioning some sort of survival thriller franchise with this. Which is surprising because I remember seeing the trailers for the first one and I was like, oh, this looks horrible. And then everyone's telling me it's a really good movie. So
It's just because it's got one really good twist in it. I'm just kind of bummed. I feel like calling them all Fall is a bit odd. Like, I think it'd be cool if you're doing a survival series where you have like Rise or Climb and it's like a different scenario every time. I think that could be more fun. I'm interested to see if it's just the same movie again. I mean,
maybe it's called Fall 2 Climb.
now you don't. And in really, really, really sad news, Matthew Perry, star of Friends and 17 again, and just a really good human all the way around, helped a ton of people with addiction and things like that, has passed away at age 54 in his hot tub in his backyard. So really, really sad news there. First of the Friends cast to go. So end of an era, really.
Yeah, passing on well wishes and all hopes and things to his family, friends, and fans of the show.
Yep.
And then in similar news, last week forgot to mention this, but actor Richard Roundtree, star of Shaft and a huge presence in the Black actor community, passed away at 81 last week. Did forget to mention that yet again. So just wanted to go ahead and pass on some good feelings to their family, friends, and fans as well. But that is going to be it for the stories this week. Let's go ahead and get into some of these comments real quick. Talking about some more movies here. Coco. Yep, that was a one-word Pixar movie. Encanto was a Disney one. Matt Walls. I actually like the second Fantastic Beasts movie, and that's the most hated one. It's my favorite one, too, actually, out of all of them. So I'm right there with you. Is that hand-drawn animation or CGI animated? If you're referring to
Looney
the
Tunes.
Looney Tunes one, most likely some sort of mix of hand-drawn. I don't think they're going to do a 3D animated one for that one. If they did, I think people would riot, especially after the horrible Space Jam: New Legacy. Jose, I wouldn't say exciting, more like incredibly cautious. Yeah, I mean, I know you're going to be cautious more than anyone. Jose is a huge fan of Looney Tunes. If you don't know Adrian,
But yeah, how would I know that? I
big
didn't know
fan,
that.
like a scholar of the animators from the early days. So like, really,
wow.
really into it. So, Cassidy, are we Team Megan or Team Chucky?
I've never seen a Chucky movie, so I'm just gonna say Megan.
I want to. I'm gonna have to go Team Chucky just because Megan was one of those AI is bad movies, and I'm kind of sick of those. So I'm gonna go with Chucky because he's funnier. Jose, the writing and directing need to be on the same page for Looney Tunes to work. 100%. Some of their recent stuff has not been as good as anywhere near as good as their classic stuff. Speaking of Jumanji, where's the third movie? I believe it's waiting to go into production.
I think
with
so.
the strikes. So hopefully we get that soon. Matt Walls, I'm Team Chucky for now till I see Megan. Megan is good. Don't get me wrong, but Chucky is Chucky. Come on. Janelle, Matthew Perry did some pretty cool things outside of acting too, which Adrian did highlight a little bit of. Great guy, definitely a sad one.
Yeah, he was really, really big on helping. I mean, pretty much everybody he came across. He's, I mean, written in his book and stuff. I've only read like articles from it. I haven't read the full book, but just a super, super friendly guy and really wanted the best for people in the end, and helped a lot of people through their addictions. And actually requested that he be known for things outside of Friends when he passed. He said he know it won't happen, but I hope that's the case.
Which is the one thing I'm worried about, because, like, obviously, I guess I said the toxicology reports are going to take a lot longer to go through, and hopefully he didn't relapse or something, and that's what caused it.
They said there was no drugs at the scene,
just prescription stuff.
Yeah, but not. Yeah, so we'll have to see kind of what happened.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah. I mean, I'm not that big a fan of Friends, never have been. But it's like even I feel the pain of this loss. Like that's a
great guy, yeah, and someone that struggled too. Like it's someone that vehemently fought against their addictions and didn't like it. Like it's not like a self-spiraling. It's someone trying to get better, and if it is a relapse, that's even more horrific and even more thoughts to the family.
Yep. But moving right along, we have the trailers that came out this week, the ones that we were kind of excited for, not so much looking for. Adrian, did anything stick out to you this week? There wasn't a whole lot of big trailers, but...
Yeah, I think it was definitely feels like a small one after everything that's come out recently. But Manodrome with Jesse Eisenberg seems interesting. Seems like a short film, seems like kind of a B movie, but I like Jesse Eisenberg and a lot of things, so that's probably the one I'm going to check out. The other one, just title alone, Freud's Last Session, had me watching the trailer. And I think that's interesting. I know it's based off like a bunch of other things, but it's about the book Questions of or To God or something like that, which I'm interested in. And I'm always fascinated in psychology, so might have checked that one out.
Gotcha. I actually did forget to put this in here, but we did get a Red Band trailer for the movie Divinity, which I was excited for a couple weeks back. So I'm actually excited to see that. But for me this week, it has to be Maestro. I think Maestro looks like it's going to be one of those award season favorites. It also just looks really good, and I think that it looks like Bradley Cooper is going to knock it out of the park his first time directing. Also, The Killer is intriguing. I've been hearing some good things coming out of film festivals about it, so excited to see where that's going to go.
Yeah, Maestro, Bradley Cooper, I think he's going to do a wonderful job with that. I think he learned a lot from...
He's worked with so many good directors.
Yeah, but I mean, and also from... What's that movie with Lady Gaga?
Star is Born.
I feel like that was like a super good, neat role for him, and I think he can really take some of that and apply it to Maestro, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. He's worked with Marvel. He's worked with Del Toro. He's worked with, he was in A Star is Born. He's been in a lot of stuff, and the guy's been around there. So hopefully it means that he can pull something out and make a good film.
Yeah.
So... But moving right along, let's go ahead and get into the movies that I watched this week outside of the Wheel of Fate ones. And let's go ahead and hear what I had to think about these movies. The first one up was a 1985 cult classic horror movie called The Stuff, about sentient, like marshmallow fluff that essentially comes to life. Is it a good movie? Not really. Is it a bonkers good time and full of fun moments? Sure. It's on my list of guilty pleasures, but don't expect this stuff to change the landscape of cinema. Gave it a 54 out of 100. After that was Osmosis Jones, the animated film from Warner Brothers. Gave it a 50 out of 100. There are two movies here, the vastly superior animated film and the disappointing live-action one. The animated sequences are good, with a really good villain and some cool world building. The live-action sequences are borderline terrible, they're unfunny, and just plain gross. I've never really felt gross or sick watching a movie, but I did watching this one, which is odd. That never happens. Zoolander was the one that I also watched from 2001, gave it a 61 out of 100. It's got its funny and memorable lines and sequences, but there's also way too much filler too. It's pretty consistent with its humor, but there's enough to make most... It's inconsistent with its humor, but there's enough to make most people laugh. Excuse me. Don't know why it needed a sequel. After that was Dracula from 1931, the one with Bela Lugosi. Dracula is a masterpiece of ambiance and mood. Bela Lugosi is incredible as Count Dracula, and you can feel his presence off screen. However, the film does get a little tedious and drawn out in some bits, but I chalk that up to modern sensibilities rather than being the film's own fault. Not as incredible as I was hoping, but still an awesome Halloween movie for sure. It just goes on the playlist. Next up was The Empty Man, a cult film that has been making a lot of rounds, and I gave it a 79 out of 100. A lackluster ending and some odd pacing are really the only major flaws here, as this film is a really cool bit of suspense and thrills that I enjoyed. It's not for everyone, and it may be too deep and involved for some, but those that give it its due will be surprised. Also a really good film from a first-time director. After that, I watched the animated Justice League film, Justice League Warworld, and this movie sucked. Boring, flat, and just wasn't fun to watch. While some of the animation was good, this just does not hit any of the highs of any other DC animation I've seen. This anthology-like nature didn't really work and was pretty annoying. Also, the characters did not act as they're supposed to, meaning I could not form any attachment to them whatsoever. Just don't watch it. Just avoid it. After that was Peter and the Wolf, a 30-minute short film on HBO Max that you can check out now. A beautifully animated, if ultimately unnecessary, update of the classic story. It's worth a watch for the animation alone, and the narration is great. I just don't get the connection to Bono. Bono was the producer of this and was a writer on it. I don't know why he was involved whatsoever. After that was 10 Cloverfield Lane, and this movie, talk about underrated. 10 Cloverfield Lane is such an underrated thriller that goes unappreciated. It's full of incredible tension, an Oscar-worthy John Goodman performance, and it's got plenty of surprises. It does lose a few points for what feels like a rushed ending, but everything on the way there is so damn good that it is hard to ignore. If you're looking for a movie to watch on Halloween tonight, if you haven't seen it, 10 Cloverfield Lane is probably the biggest recommendation I could give. After that was the big one, Five Nights at Freddy's this week, and I gave it a 47 out of 100. While it captures the soul and spirit of the games well, and its animatronics are amazing. They're incredible animatronics. The film makes a few too many creative decisions that just don't work. First, not going with an R rating hurts it, and second, there are some odd moments in its second act that I just could not get into. The film is fine, but fans of FNAF are sure to get a lot more out of it than I would. So, with that, that is going to be it for the week. If you want to see anything else that I have reviewed, you can go check out my Letterboxd right there, and I believe with that, we're close. I'm at 898 films that I've reviewed so far. So we're getting closer to 900.
Nice. I think it's funny that you said Osmosis Jones made you sick, because that's the whole movie.
It's just disgusting is what it is.
But then The Empty Man, I saw that when it came out, and I actually really enjoyed that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also really underrated and should be watched. I will say it is a little more tedious, but I really, really enjoyed it. And then 10 Cloverfield Lane, obviously a classic at this point, I feel, for the horror genre in some circles, but also not talked about enough. I think you have to just be in the right place. And then Five Nights at Freddy's, 47. I think that's a bit high. I'm someone that I haven't played the games, but I am familiar with all the lore. And I felt like the movie significantly under-delivered on a lot of things. Without giving any spoilers, this is something that isn't in the movie. I feel like there was a huge opportunity to include the actual gameplay from the first few games and have that actually fit into the story almost perfectly. Like, I could literally tell you exactly where they could have done it, and it could have been a cool kind of paying tribute. And I feel like they just missed every opportunity to make this a good movie.
I just forgot something that was a major part of the movie for me. I actually have to go and lower my score. I don't know if I should. Is a cameo a spoiler?
Up to you. I'm not gonna. I don't know what you're gonna say.
I mean, the fact that Matt Pat is in this movie, I have to dock points off. I cannot stand that man. Anyhow,
also the scripting was absolutely terrible in my opinion.
Not the best, no. But yeah, was it Scott Cawthon, the writer, the original creator of the game, is not known for being a good writer, and he wrote the movie. So Matt Wall's Osmosis Jones TV show was fire back in the day. If it was just the animated parts, I could see it. Any of the live action stuff with Bill Murray, where he clearly didn't want to be in the movie, I'm going to have to disagree on that. I'm starting to get tired of the art style DC Animated has chosen to go with the latest couple of years. Yet, it's not the best. I don't know why they changed it. I mean, they changed it up when the whole universe reset, but I don't know. It doesn't look the best. Cassidy, FNAF was trash. There, I said it. Well,
Yeah, I mean, there were multiple times. I love a good trash movie. Like, I am known on the podcast that we had and this. If something's bad, that doesn't mean I don't want to watch it. Like, I love a good bad movie. There were just multiple times watching Five Nights at Freddy's where I looked at Cassidy and both of us were like, what the hell are we watching right now? Like, this is crazy. But
It's also-
great effects with the suits. I will give them that. They did
animatronics
amazing.
were
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
They nailed it.
But I think, like I was saying, I think the fans already do like it a lot more than I think even I was expecting. Like, they love the movie, so which is good for them. I mean, I'm glad that they have something that they can enjoy and go do. It's like the Mario movie. Like, I didn't really like the Mario movie, but I'm glad that community has a film they can rally behind.
I'd like to throw a horror game franchise into the ring that I would like to see made, and that would be Outlast.
Yes.
An R-rated Outlast movie. 10 out of 10, you'll find me in the theater and shivering in my boots.
100%. That, and then if whatever John Carpenter says is still true, there's apparently still a Dead Space movie in development, and that needs to happen.
Yeah, both of those would be incredible. They're so story-driven that they almost tell themselves, just film the game. In fact, you know what? Outlast is a camcorder. Just film.
There you go.
Just do that.
But yeah.
But enough of what Garrett did watch this past week. A lot of you do like to go to the theater on the weekend, so we had a really big releases coming out this past weekend, but this weekend we have quite a few coming out as well. We have American Fiction coming out on Friday to limited release before its full release in December. Author Thelonious Monk Ellison is peeved because his latest offering hasn't caught fire with publishers, while a tome called Weez Lives in the Ghetto by Sinatra Golden hits the bestseller lists, leaving Monk seething. This one seems really interesting, actually. Really good kind of commentary on a lot of things. Then we have Priscilla, A24's latest film. When teenage Priscilla Beaulieu meets Elvis Presley at a party, the man who is already a meteoric rock and roll superstar becomes someone entirely unexpected in private moments. A thrilling crush, an ally in loneliness, and a gentle best friend. This one is probably just going to win a ton of awards, to be honest. It's looking like it's going to be incredible. Then we have Radical coming out on Friday. This is a French film, I believe, but it's doing really well at Sundance right now. It might be a Spanish film. I don't want to commit to it, but it looks really, really interesting. Then we have The Last Waltz, if that sounds familiar. That's because this is the 45th anniversary release through Fathom Events, coming out on Sunday. You can check it out in theaters that play those Fathom events. A film account and presentation of the final concert of the band. This one is a Martin Scorsese film. If you haven't seen one in theaters, here's your chance. If you didn't get to go see Killers of the Flower Moon. Then we have Titanic the Musical, another Fathom event, because that needs to be more lighthearted. That one comes out on Saturday. And last but not least, we have God of Heaven and Earth. For years, scholars have debated whether the miraculous events proclaiming the birth and death of Jesus actually happened. Now, history, science, and technology reveal an astounding amount of evidence in this events in history. By the way that they wrote that, that's rough. But that one comes out on Saturday. And this one seems like a straight to Netflix or Discovery late night show that somehow got a full movie. So if that's something that interests you. Again, that comes out on Sunday to theatrical events. It's an iconic event. So if you have a theater that plays Iconics, you can go see that.
There you go. Yeah, really excited to see American Fiction, another award season contender. So very excited to see it. Also looks really funny. Real quick, Cassidy, surprised we have never gotten a GTA movie, or have we? Technically, we did. I think there was a movie that had Daniel Radcliffe in it, or like a short series that was a British show that was about like a lawsuit behind GTA, but wasn't about GTA like the game itself.
It wasn't the storyline, yeah.
Wasn't the storyline of the games, but I think that would be a much better TV series.
I just did a quick search on IMDb. There is a Grand Theft Auto 6 TV movie 2023 slotted.
No idea what that means, but hopefully we'll say something.
They're running out of time. So I don't know what that's going to be.
2 months left. That's enough about what we'll be seeing this weekend. Let's go ahead and talk about what people saw last weekend. And as we talked about at the top of the news hour, Five Nights at Freddy's stole the weekend. Those animatronics beat the shit out of Taylor Swift, breaking in $78 million. Taylor Swift Eras Tour falling to second place with $14.7 million. Killers of the Flower Moon holding third place at $9 million. The After Death film from the same studio as Sound of Freedom at $5.1 million in fourth place. And The Exorcist Believer in fifth place with $3.1 million. Not too surprising. Again, I'm going to gloat. Adrian didn't think that it was going to make that much money. I was correct.
Cool.
I'll gloat. I'm not right about a whole lot of things usually. But yeah, that was how it went last weekend. Two more comments we had come in. Matt Walls, Die Hard 3 was pretty much a GTA movie. That and The Expendables and any Mission Impossible movie could be technically, because like especially the heists in GTA 5, those are pretty nuts. And Cassidy seems to agree as well. But that is going to be it for those segments. But the music has changed. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, everyone else with us, that means it is time for the Wheel of Fate. So make sure, if you have any movie suggestions, recommendations, they go into the chat. So we can go ahead and have Adrian put them into the Wheel of Fate and see what gets picked this week. Not as many picks will be chosen this week just because, again, I am moving this coming week. So not going to have a whole lot of time, but we'll wait and see what happens with that. But let's go ahead and go over the movies that were selected last week. And up first was Air Bud from 1997. Gave the movie a 35. I said that Air Bud was cute for the sake of being cute, which is ultimately its worst sin. It also takes way too long to get started and is a complete snooze fest. It also wastes the potential of its premise, not really capitalizing on it. It just is not that good of a movie. But the dog is wearing shoes, so that's cool. After that was Cobweb, which I'm counting as a third suggestion because we did ultimately take it in from our good friend Nadia from Horror and More, and this movie's actually pretty sweet. I gave it a 74. It was properly creepy and unsettling with some great performances from Lizzie Kaplan and Anthony Starr. It only loses points for a rushed ending with no satisfactory conclusion, but the ride to get there was a lot of fun. And if there's another Halloween movie that you can watch tonight, highly recommend Cobweb. It is on Hulu if you'd like to watch it, and if you have a subscription. After that was It's a Mad, 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 Mad World from 1963, and ended up giving the movie a 55 out of 100. It has its funny moments and a slew of stars and cameos, but this film is boring and slow for most of its runtime. I don't care how long the movie is. Like, some of my favorite movies are over 3 hours long, but a film like this had no need being as long as it was. I give it props for its almost cartoonish nature and how fun its set pieces can be, but after all these years, it just didn't really stick the landing with me. I watched this movie a lot with my family when I was a kid, and I liked it a lot more then because my dad found it funny, so I found it funny. And now I just find it kind of repetitive and slow. So unfortunately, not as high as I would have remembered that one, but it's okay.
Hey, sometimes that happens, though, you know.
Yeah, sometimes it happens, but we'll give you a couple more seconds to get some recommendations in. I did fly through those reviews, so we'll give it another minute here. But hopefully you guys, actually we'll do 30 seconds. Hopefully you guys have some fun with getting some of those suggestions in. Looks like we have a lot of healthy recommendations today. So, and as usual, I have not seen any of them before getting them entered in. But since it looks like the comments have slowed down, we'll call time. Yep, as Adrian said. And we'll go ahead and see what is selected.
Here we
so
go.
We'll be doing 2 this week.
Oh, let me shuffle them real quick. Proof. It's all random.
All right. First pick of 2 this week is
Hard Boiled, the first suggestion we got.
Hard Boiled. That would be the oh my gosh, what's the director's name? Ang Lee?
And we're spinning the wheel. Second movie is
John Woo.
Meet the Parents, one of Cassidy's recommendations, and I believe all of her films starred Robert De Niro.
You lost Adrian. Oh, there he is. He froze for a
Where
second,
did I
at least on
go?
my screen.
Oh,
But I don't know. But Meet the Parents is the second selection this week. So thank you, everyone, for getting those comments in. Yeah, Matt Walls. That's two in a row. I believe you had Mad World last week. So, kind of going through some of these here. Hard Boiled. Yep, Goodfellas. I've already seen Goodfellas. It's a very good movie. Catch Me If You Can. The Fan. The Terminal. Vampires and Dracula, the Spanish version. Flight. Meet the Parents, which was selected. Vampire Hunter D. I meant Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, not Vampire Hunter D's Nuts, apparently. Analyze That. Day After Tomorrow. I have seen and reviewed that film. Shark Tale. I have seen and reviewed that film as well.
I made him watch it.
It's like waterboarding. Limitless. We didn't watch Limitless on the show. We watched Push, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Silver Linings Playbook. It's fine. Mad World is my dad and I's favorite movie to watch together. I'm just like, honestly, if I was watching it with my dad, probably would have had a better time. But unfortunately, I don't live with him anymore, and I don't get the time to watch movies with him. So maybe that's what I need to do to watch that movie again. I don't know. That's not me roasting anyone. I'm just saying.
More yourself. Go spend time with your dad.
Well, like I spend time with my dad, but it's not like I have 3 hours to sit there and watch a movie.
Sure.
Gassy, we solved you. Well, Adrian solved you.
Riddle me this.
But a lot of awesome suggestions this week. Hopefully some of them will come up again next week, the ones that did not win. And we'll have some fun with that. But the two for this week are Hard Boiled, the John Woo Chow Yun-Fat Chinese action movie, which is awesome from everything I hear, and Meet the Parents, which I have seen before, but I have not reviewed. So I will definitely be rewatching that. Yeah, well, that's going to be That's it for the podcast here. Janelle, where are you moving? I am moving from about 15 minutes away from where I currently live. Excuse me. So I'm moving out of a home where I rent a master suite, and I'm moving into an apartment with my cousin. So,
congratulations.
Yeah, my cousin and his girlfriend are huge movie people as well. So it's going to make it a lot easier to watch a lot of these movies if I have an audience to do it with. But outside of any kind of comments, Adrian, what have you been up to the last week? I mean, we've kind of heard a little bit, but have you been watching anything that kind of stands out?
I did watch a couple movies, but I am reading Contact, and I did watch the movie last night. And the book actually differs quite a bit from the movie in a lot of really interesting ways that are arguably even more thought-provoking than as great as the movie is. So I recommend reading the book. And then I did go see Five Nights at Freddy's. I did watch No Hard Feelings. That's now streaming on Netflix. And I did also watch Uncharted in the background while I did nothing, just because it was on and I put it on.
Sure. As far as me, you kind of saw all the things that I watched over the last week, a lot of movies, but I did check out a new HBO Max series called Scavenger's Reign, which, again, is totally up Adrian's alley. You should totally check it out. But it is, I don't want to say it's an adult animated show. It is a mature animated show. There's a difference. So I feel like adult animated shows are like Big Mouth and things like that are usually not very funny or they're cringy. Mature animation is one that is going for a mature audience and like not in a kind of humor way. It's very cool, very sci-fi, very pastel colored, very trippy animation. It's a pretty cool show. So I've been checking that out and watching Loki occasionally in the background. The season got pretty good actually when it hit the 3rd and 4th episode.
That's good.
Left on a huge cliffhanger, so we'll see what happens with the last 2 episodes of the season. But we've got a couple of comments here. Jose, back when Chow Yun-Fat had a career. Did something happen to him?
Oh no.
Now I need to know. Was he like? Did he go back? Did he return? Because I know he was doing a lot of American films. And it looks like he's doing a lot more Hong Kong cinema. Huh. And he's had quite a few movies that have come out. He had a movie that came out this year, last year, 2018. Looks like he's definitely slowed down, though. But, yeah, Hard Boiled is a movie I've been really excited to watch for a long time. It's got tequila. which is his character. Matt Walls, I've been rewatching Kings and Queens because of the memes.
I think that's the TV show with James.
You know what King of Queens? Or Kings and Queens? I don't know what you're... honestly, I don't know what the show is, or movie, or whatever it is.
I'm thinking of the one with, what is it, James? What's that guy's name? Adam Sandler's friend.
Kevin James.
Great, Kevin James.
Yeah, I do not like that guy. His videos where he's like the sound guy are funny, but no movie he's ever been in has made me laugh. Cassidy, I realize I have only chosen millennials. My first boomer.
Congratulations.
Fun fact, me and Carl Sagan have the same birthday, November 9th. Well, happy early birthay, Mr. Matt Walsh.
Wow, happy early birthday, and what a cool person to share a birthday with.
Indeed. I would. That would be such a great person to share. I share a birthday with, like, I think Jimmy Buffett.
And Hitler, right? Just kidding.
That took me off guard. Matt Walls, I might watch A Quiet Place tonight. Good choice. Good choice.
Kevin James.
Yep, Kevin James. His American films, I feel, haven't been as revered as his older stuff. We're speaking a bit about Chow Yun-Fat. Definitely. Unless you're talking about Kevin James again, then I don't know if I agree with that. Matt Walls, I may have said the show wrong. Yeah, I think it's King of Queens, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong.
It is the King of Queens.
There's a lot in there. Alrighty. Well, if any of you have any other questions, comments, or anything, make sure you get those in. But we do need to get to the roots of the hot dog eating challenge.
Before we do that, I have something that I'd like to share that you shared with me, Garrett, but I feel that the audience should see. The new Dune Lego set has come out, and there is specifically one thing that I want out of this whole set, and I'm going to show it to you now. It comes with like the full cast of characters, but the Emperor has his own character.
It's not the Emperor, it's Baron Harkonnen.
Or the Baron, and I just... I need that. I just want that. Can I just buy the Baron? I think that is the craziest Lego character I have ever seen in my whole life, and he's so curvy. Anyway, I just had to share that I really want that.
The Ornithopter itself looks great. I'm very that's a cool looking set. It's a lot of wings though. It's gonna be hard to put together.
Yeah.
Jose's Hitler's is April 20th. Well, good. It's not my birthday. And Chow, he was talking about. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. That Dune Lego set is fucking awesome. Yes, it is. It is so cool, and it's part of the Icons line, the adult line, which is really pretty sweet. Danelle says, "What a tall boy."
Seriously, the tallest. Is that the tallest Lego minifig?
Well, it's just the cloak that's down. It's probably like a regular minifig underneath, and just the cloak dangles down.
I think it looked solid.
It looked like a cape piece, but
you might be right.
I've collected Legos for 27 years now, so I'm pretty sure it's a cape piece, but I could be wrong. I don't know. The set's not out yet, and I haven't bought it yet.
Oh, it's like a...
The fabric, right?
It's like a shawl, like it's over the front and the side, like you put it on him.
Yeah.
I don't want it anymore, everyone.
One of his favorite movies of the last, 2-3 years, and he's not going to get it.
I have nowhere to put the Ornithopter. That's why I'm not going to get it. That's
wall
mount
it.
No space for that.
That'd look cool. Attach it and have it pointing down with the wings outstended or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could build you a custom little mount for it.
And buy me the Lego set.
That I don't know. But let's go ahead and get these rules going for this hot dog eating competition, this challenge. Because how many hot dogs did you say you could eat in 1 minute?
I ended on saying 4.
Okay, and I said 2. So I think, are we just trying to beat or match what we said, or are we just trying to eat as many as possible? What's the ground rule for this challenge?
The winner is the person that eats the most hot dogs in under a minute.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're competing against each other.
Correct.
Goal.
You also have your own personal goal. You can PR in the hot dog eating contest, but it is a competition. Yeah.
Okay. Now, as far as I know, And I think Danelle agrees here. Yeah, as many as possible. Now, most competitions that I have heard for hot dog eating stuff, it is just bun and hot dog.
Correct.
Now, do we want to allow any condiments whatsoever to help with getting them down?
I'm fine if you want condiments. I will be eating raw hot dogs.
I do not like a hot dog with nothing on it. So, but I don't know if that's cheating. Maybe we can get some chat input here.
That's up to you. I feel like you're putting more in your stomach for like it's more to eat, even if it's marginal. You're adding, so go for it.
Okay, chat? What do you think? Do we want to allow some potential? Danelle says raw. Well, it'll be cooked. It'll be a cooked hot dog, right?
Yeah, I meant raws and no condiments.
Bareback or whatever. I don't know. Raw dog.
Brokeback mount. I'm gonna eat my hot dogs
Brokeback hot dog. But no one's answering if you want to allow us to do condiments, because if we will, I'm putting just a little bit of mustard on there to help it out. And what kind of hot dog should we do, Adrian?
I think you had mentioned Frank's. You like just the classic hot dog or Ballpark?
Ballpark should be fine, yeah.
Ballpark is fine, and then I think you just pick same Ballpark buns, or like just don't go artisan buns, just basic ones like Sara Lee. Yeah, and Sara Lee. Yeah, Sara Lee is probably the best one to go with.
It's the widely available one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do some just plain white buns and Ballpark Frank in there.
And we'll probably do it at the end of our next stream. I don't know if it's its own whole video. We'll probably do it as like our final thing at the end of the episode, or maybe at the beginning of the episode, and then we'll do a full stream with full bellies. You'll have to tune in and find out.
I'd rather not have a stream where I feel like I'm going to throw up the entire time. But
that's what I like to hear. Condiments seem like more a hindrance than a handicap.
See, I feel like it's going to make it much more palatable. Because
I don't think that's the goal, man. I'm not eating for enjoyment. I'm eating for speed.
I see. Well, even with speed, I don't see how it would slow you down.
That's where you're wrong.
Okay. Well, then I'm putting mustard on there because I hate the taste of just plain hot dog. But cool. Well, we have our rules. We have our ground scenarios. That will be next week. Hopefully our subscribers don't drop.
That'd be really funny.
Before then. If we drop below 100, it's off. You guys got us here. You got to maintain. Cassidy says, if viewers want a Garrett live puke, please don't. I'll be in my new place then. I don't want to throw up on the carpet. It's going to be a bad look.
I'd rather not handle the glizzies.
But alrighty, well, we got that settled. That'll be next week. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to all of you for joining us on this ride and subscribing to the channel. It's taken us a while, but we're finally at this huge landmark. We've hit triple digits, which is awesome. I don't think we ever thought we were going to get here. So thank you again so much for joining us on this way. Adrian, if anyone out there is new and is watching us for the first time or just subscribed and doesn't know where they can follow us, where can they do that?
Reel Watchers, anywhere you want. That's REEL, as in a film reel, WATCHERS, Reel Watchers. You can find us on Instagram. We're actually, I'm kind of going to throw together a little bit of an appreciation post for the 100 subscribers, so head over there and make sure that you like it when I post it. And then Reel Watchers on YouTube. We go live every Tuesday with movie news, which is what you're watching now if you're hearing me speak. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell because, again, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. California time, Western time. And then also Garrett has another show with our other co-host Kevin called Reel Watchers Movie Club, where they post every Friday. Those are not live, but they are posted and recorded every week, where they are going through the IMDb top 200 list. So great content over there. And then Garrett also has video essays that he posts, where one just crossed 4,500.
5,100.
Crossed 5,100. So that one's doing really well. So make sure to check that out. It's got a lot of traction, and go give it a boost, even if you just watch it once. And then on Twitch, if you're watching us, go ahead and use that little free subscribe button for us. That would be really, really helpful. And you'll see us here every Tuesday on our live stream. But if you want all that other content, head over to YouTube.
Absolutely true. Also, the movie club episode this week is going to be on the Western classic Once Upon a Time in the West. So make sure you watch the film before then if you want to not be spoiled. That's going to be on Friday. And other than that, yep, you get something in the corner there. But thank you so much for watching. Actually, we do have a comment. Cassie says, if you drop below 100 and then come back up, do you have to do another GlizzyCon? No. As long as it's still at 100 next week, then we're good. Right? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I mean, if we do it and then it drops below 100 and then it happens again, then we'll probably have to do another one.
It depends on how I feel after the first one is what it's really going to come down to. But maybe
I've
if we
never
do hit
seen
100
someone
again,
more nervous to eat 2 hot dogs. I feel like you gotta grow up or something. You're gonna eat 2 hot dogs.
it's the speed, man. The speed.
I know it's gonna be fast.
Anyhow, but doesn't look like there's been any other comments. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for helping us get up to 100 subscribers. We love you so much. We'll be live next week, same time, same place. I'll have a new background. Live at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesday next week. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep your eyes on the screen.